go surfing every day. That's what I would do.
If you could sleep with any actress in her prime who has been on the silver screen in the last 50 years, who would it be?
Well, I used to have a big crush on Farrah Fawcett when I was like in high school.
Oh, Farrah Fawcett, yeah. I like Jacqueline Smith.
Hmm.
So,
Same show.
Yeah.
They were smoking hot, huh?
Smoking hot.
Me and Farrah were going to get married. We were engaged, and she dumped me for Lee Majors, and I was really disappointed. You know.
You could work in any professional role that exists. What kind of profession would it be? I'd like to be president of the United States.
Well, I would not want that position, but I would vote for you.
Thank you.
I would not want that
What
position.
profession would you like?
What would I like?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to be the quarterback of the LA Rams. But it didn't work out because they moved to St. Louis. I really wanted to be, a professional sports player. I think that would be like the ultimate gig, right? Short of that, I would like to be an analyst of sports, and have my own radio talk show. So I really want is have my own radio talk show. You could be like my sidekick, but instead of talking about Torah, instead of Torah talks, it would be like,
sports talks.
Sports talks, with the rabbi, right? And we'd be like talking, like who do you think is going to win the Final Four and this kind of stuff. I would love to do that. That's what I would. That's my gig.
Luke,
that's my dream job.
If you had not come down with chronic fatigue syndrome, what do you think you'd be doing now? I think I'd be an economist at a university.
No, I think you'd be having sex with a big Asian chick with big boobs.
You can't make money from doing that unless it's photographed.
Ah, okay.
Rabs, when you choose between medication that would alleviate your condition and Judaism, what do you think would have happened had you chosen to alleviate your condition?
What medication to alleviate my condition? What's he talking about? I don't even know. I don't even understand the question. I don't understand that question. It does not compute. What medication, what condition is he talking about? I've never had such a choice. I don't know what he's talking about. I can't even...
Does either one of you feel that there was a girl in your past who qualifies for the one who got away? The girl you look back on and feel she was the one you should have married and did not? At times I get these feelings about various girls I've known, so there's not like one who haunts me. How about you?
Well, for a long time...
your fiancé.
A long time to my ex-fiancé, I would say... It took over a year to get over her, but I'm not there anymore. You know what I mean? It's like I'm past it. So now, I don't really think she was the one that got away. I don't think she was the one, and I can say that. So who would be the one that got away? I don't think there was one.
When you look into your past, do you ever see something that looms in your mind as a conspicuous mistake or misjudgment? And if you had not taken the road you did, your life would have been very different. Well, I guess I look back on the...
Oh, there is one that got away that I wanted.
Okay.
Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah. So, when I look back on my life, I think perhaps if I had not worked as extremely hard and overdid it in the months before I got chronic fatigue syndrome, perhaps I never would have gotten sick. So...
Oh, that's interesting.
That could have been... Like I was taking 24 units at school and working a full-time job. I was just going from like 4 a.m. until 9 p.m. every day, and it was crazy. So if I'd been a little more moderate. But also, I think if I'd gotten into therapy at like age 11, like if I'd realized there's something fundamentally wrong here in my inability to connect with other people, and like tackle that when I was a kid, instead of wasting the last 30 years of my life not connecting with other people very well, I think that would have... I remember like in 7th grade the teacher suggested that I get homeschooled because I was kind of a problem kid. And I think if some reason, instead of like getting upset and just shaping up, if I could have said, maybe I need therapy, maybe I need to go talk to someone professional, maybe that could have put me on a different path.
I have a lot of them. I don't know which one. 14, I had a chance to hit my father, and I backed down, and I should have done it. Who knows what would have done. 16, I ran away from home, and I came back. I went back. I should not have gone back. I don't really regret the fact that I worked as a rabbi. That was fine, I guess, in the long run. You know what I mean? I have the experience, so I don't regret that. I don't regret leaving. I was like, Baruch, I should not have gone into computers. I should not have gone...
Well, the particular branch, like if you've gone into something that would be in demand today.
Yeah, I went into Unix and whatever. I shouldn't have... That whole journey was a bad thing. I'm not cut out for the working world in corporate America, and I shouldn't have even done it. I mean, I was just a disaster. And then the final one was when I got laid off for the final time in 2004, which was 7 years ago already. I'm coming up on my 7-year anniversary of not working, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of money. I was liquid for over $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
I should have taken that money and done something with it right away. I should have said, okay, fuck it, I'm never going back to work. I'm going to go open up my own restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then I could have opened up my own kosher donut place, or whatever the fuck. I should have done something with it, you know? Rather than just watch it all piss away for the next years, and now it's all gone. So, yeah, I have a bunch of regrets.
When you look back, is there some opportunity that you didn't follow up on and now believe that it may have been your big chance that slipped through your fingers?
I think I just answered that,
yeah.
didn't
I've had like a lot of big chances that somehow never came through. Remember once a National Magazine, an editor from National Magazine talked to me about covering the 2004 election, the presidential election, and it never came through. And I've had like a lot of things like that that have just never come through.
No, my whole life is a series of misses. You know, I've missed so many things, you know.
If you could change one major national policy in the U.S., what would it be, and what would you change it to? I think I would lower marginal tax rates to as low as, you know, as feasible. So I'd like to get rid of all deductions and have like a flat 17% tax rate.
17%? Isn't that what Jerry Brown offered like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
You and Jerry Brown on the same page now.
Yeah.
What would the national policy in the U.S.
if you could change one major national policy in the United States. If I had two, I'd get rid of all discrimination laws.
I would say legalize all drugs across the board. To sell, to grow, to own, to use. And I think by doing that, we could eliminate a hell of a lot of crime, save a lot of taxpayer dollars. We could even tax the stuff, create revenue. We would stop a lot of illegal immigration at the border. It would just solve so many problems if they would just legalize it. That would be my thing.
If you could completely do away with and dismiss a personal characteristic that you find does not serve you and yet you cannot shake it, what would that characteristic be? For me, it would be my narcissism and grandiosity.
At least you recognize it. Recognizing it is the first step. Because you have a huge ego, if I don't mind saying myself. For me, it's my OCD and my paranoia, which is part of my OCD, right? If I could get over my paranoia, I think my OCD in different ways is a factor in why relationships for me, whether with males or females, doesn't last. I drive people crazy with my OCD, you know, one way or the other, and it could well be that I can't have a long-term relationship with anybody because of my paranoia and because I just drive people nuts. And I don't think I'll ever be able to get out of that because this is just who I am.
There are a couple of Jewish thinkers in the last 50 years that you could have had conversations with and been friends with and learned from. Who would those thinkers be? For me, it'd be Dennis Prager and Mark Shapiro, and luckily I've had the privilege of having conversations with both of them. So,
for me, it'd be Robert Victor Miller, hands down. And I did have a couple conversations with him, but I wish that I had more conversations with him, and I wish that I picked up on him earlier in his life before he died. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So.
To non-Jewish thinkers the last 50 years, I don't know, George Will comes to mind. Hemingway.
Oh, really? I was thinking Tommy Lasorda.
Tom Wolfe, the novelist Tom Wolfe.
I was thinking Tommy Lasorda because the guy, like, you know who I think who I admire the most in the non-Jewish world,
Uh-huh.
as people